Grand Rise, this is your girl, the Philly Bruja. Hey y'all, hey. Wagwan, what's up? Hey, I know it's super duper early, but I figured I would just come on for a little bit before things wake the fuck up. Things like real things, wake up and I gotta, handle that, whatever the case may be. Anyway, I know it's super early, so kudos to those who are coming in the gated community and those who will catch the replay. Yeah. And just so we are clear, um, I am not being passive aggressive. I'm being aggressive because what I want to touch on this morning is actually something that I've seen across the board, even in real life. So, did you get your coffee? Yeah, let's chat just a little bit. Peace, Michael Phillips. Hey, Greg. Gang. Man, listen, I want to touch on some shit, y'all, and I know it's early. So, hang in there with me for a second. I'm going to let this play for 2 minutes, and I'm going to get into this topic, and I'm going to let y'all to get the fuck on, because I got to get the fuck on. Let me know something in the comments. There's a slight delay between StreamYard and the comments. So let me know that my mic is miking and my Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi, okay? Thanks. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, y'all. Is my mic miking? Grand Rise. Once again, this is your girl, the Philly Brew. Please let me know y'all can hear me because I'm looking at this little thing over here and this is looking weak, y'all. This little bar strength. I have no goddamn clue. So write in the comments, let me know.
He did call me the oracle. I'm about to make this historical. These questions you ask me rhetorical. Like who do I be? You know. I am the queen. I'm supreme. You didn't know? What do you mean? Look, they call me the oracle. I'm about to make this historical. These questions you ask me rhetorical. Like who do I be?
Thank you, Coco. Grand Rise, y'all. Hey, Regis. I'm still drinking the Colombian one. I bought a big thing of it. So, but I've scaled down how much I actually put in that coffee maker. So hopefully, it don't hit until after I finish this live because we don't like I don't like that, Tiffany. I'm all over the goddamn place. Hey, Matthew. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Gang, brother Michael Phillips. I can't see if anyone else stepped into the room, but we're going to get into this real quickly, okay? Okay. Oh, thank you all for the happy birthdays. Yes, technically you can go ahead and celebrate it today too. Yeah. Insider. Yeah. So I wanted to touch on this topic, right? Because you got all of these motherfuckers going around here. I'm an empath, and I'm talking about GI, okay? But GI is not the only one that I saw make these references about themselves. Um, it kind of reminds me of when people say I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Well, most crazy people don't really know that they're crazy. They think that everything they're fucking do is completely normal. You feel me? Yeah, they feel like everything they're doing is normal when we're, outsiders looking in like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're crazy. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel when people say, I'm an empath. I'm a Hayoka. Listen, one thing, I think people get confused with the empath versus empathic, okay? People confuse empathic with being an empath. People also claims to be a Hayoka. I'm going to tell you this. When I was labeled a quote unquote Hayoka from a chief, over there fucking around in them tribes, fucking around with them tribes, I never knew what it was. You know what I mean? Until I had to look into it, and I said, "Damn." One thing that can talk about what a Hayoka is, right? I'll leave that. We're going to go back onto the empath thing. When you think of Tears of a Clown, You know what I mean? Someone being able to diffuse the situation, if you will, with humor, right? So that's the Hyoka thing, just in a nutshell, right? Being able to use other people, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and teaching with humor, empathic humor, right? Okay. Hey, Get. Did you get here yet? Did you get here yet? Come on, Get. Let me go meet you at the Devil's Playground. Okay? I just changed your name up a little bit. But yeah, come on. I pull up in real life. So listen, I want to talk about this, the difference between being an empath and being empathic. Let me keep it 100 with you. Most of the people that's running around saying, I'm an empath, I'm an empath, I'm an empath, are usually people who are suffering from deep rooted childhood fucking trauma. I said it. I did. I said it. Most of the people are suffering from childhood trauma. Yes. Okay, good, get. Hit me up. What's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I should be cool. I hate to break it to some of you people who are running around here with the empath label. You're not an empath. You have PTSD from an unstable household and you are sensitive to the emotional change as a defense mechanism. Thus, you get folks who claim to be an empath, yet they do not know how to read a fucking room. They do not know how to read what is appropriate or inappropriate because they are used to going into a defense mechanism because usually, and let me just do a legal disclaimer really quickly, okay? I am not. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. Okay. But I did spend a lot of goddamn time in therapy. Most of you motherfuckers should. Okay. That part. Seriously. A lot of you are not empaths. You just have PTSD and trauma from unstable fucking households. It is a sensitive emotional change as a defense mechanism. Fuck. Why is that so hard? Well, you know what? Anyway, kid, listen. I did, not only did I do a year, 2 years of intense therapy, I went away to a holistic type place for almost like, I don't know, 90 something days. It was intense. It was intense emotional healing, right? Because I knew I needed that shit. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. It changed my life too. And this is why I talk about this so openly because I think that especially people of color, I think we still suffer from a little bit of that stigma around actually going out to seek professional help, and it's not Jesus and it's not God. Well, time out, because y'all can believe who you want, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean, and you didn't, some things your church and stuff like that just can't heal, right? And I think it's outrageous for people to think that, well, because you're a person of color, you're supposed to be with you're supposed to withstand all kind of, trauma and bullshit and fuck shit, and not even if you do go and seek professional help, then you get a label. Fuck your labels, right? Because I'll tell you one thing, I don't regret not 1 minute of the opportunity I had to literally go and heal from a lot of the trauma that, once again, like I said, the the things that usually happen in your childhood. I had a great opportunity healing the little me. Hold on a second. All right, we're gonna get into this. All right, if at any point my mic is not mic or my Wi-Fi is not Wi-Fi, let me know, please, and I'll figure it out because I want to get through this pretty quickly. Chances are high, if you've labeled yourself an empath, right? Then chances are very high you're not one. Okay, and this is why we see folks running around here. We'll just use YouTube verse as the what am I trying to say? We'll just use YouTube verse as the example, right? Okay, number one. Oh, thank you, Gib. Listen, number one, you only experience mood swings and anxiety and depression. While experiencing these things can be a sign of having an empathic gift, if this is the only thing you experience out the list above, then you are likely not an empath. Do I need to go into the explanation of what I just said? Let me know. I want you to also realize that when you see folks who call themselves empaths and you see them literally regress into a toddler or a young child state, usually that is around. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is my opinion, and this is coming from a motherfucker who's been in therapy, okay? And I have a really good ability to read motherfuckers. It has nothing to do with my spirituality and my cards. None of that shit. This is pure psychology, okay? Period. Mhm. I don't need a crystal ball because I study people, the sociology of it all, right? Yeah. Okay. This is why we see them go into full blown childlike like moods, or what some people call arrested development. Okay. They don't know how to express themselves because of trauma, basically. And the one thing I'm going to say is that, especially growing up in black households, you heard that saying, keep my business in this house. Don't you go telling nobody, yada, 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 like that kind of thing. So you figure out defense mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? How to fight against that. When you see these folks around here, and again, I said I'm just using the YouTube thing as an example. Definitely go and use it in real life because I do. Well, this is real life too. I don't. Never mind. That's a whole nother topic. There's one thing true empaths will never. You'll never see one do this. Okay. Thank you, Coco. Happy belated. No, actually, it's still technically my birthday, Coco. It's still my birthday. Yesterday and today is my birthday. Catch. So, God damn it, I gotta start looking at the comments because I want to stay focused. I gotta get the fuck on. One thing you will not see an empath do, okay? When you see these motherfuckers on these panels or doing their shows and shit like that, and they say some of the most nastiest, most horriblest things, horriblest, that's not a word. They say the most egregious things out of their mouths. A true empath could never. You know why? Because an empath already knows how it feels to be on the other side of that. So there is no way in hell they would do something like that. Would you like an example? Let me give you an example. Okay. Example. I've heard some of folks, okay, on their shows and on their panels, they get the whole thing with roasting and bidding confused with being outright malicious. Okay. Example. I will F your dead mother's bones. Mhm. A true empath could never say that because even if you strongly hate someone, well, hate is a big word, but if you strongly dislike someone, you wouldn't even be able to as an empath form those kind of things in your head, right? I had someone tell me, well, I heard someone say as I was in the comments strolling about my dead mother being found on 60th Street. I talked about my story with domestic violence with my mom. A true empath would never. Now, could I have come back and said something very nasty, just as deep down and dark? Of course. But a true empath won't. because we know how that feels. We lived it, we went through it, and we also can pick up, I said we, excuse me, an empath can 100% read a room, 100% tap into other people's emotions, which is why most empaths are very reclusive, if that makes sense. Okay. Excuse me. Number two, you have a hard time. This is number two for you're not an empath, you're just fucking traumatized. Okay. Number two, you have a hard time understanding the actions and emotions of others. Also, you have a strong desire to be a part of something. True and real empaths don't want to be a part of none of that shit. Oh shit, the coffee's kicking in. True empaths do not want to even be around people really, because that's a whole clusterfuck within itself. Okay. So if you're having a hard time understanding the actions and the emotions of others with a strong desire to be a part of something, anything, chances are high that you're not a fucking empath. You're traumatized. People across the board, as humans, we should be empathic to a certain degree. Empathy and empath is two completely opposite things. Okay? Not opposite, those are two completely different things. Excuse me. You may have a hard time understanding your own emotions, right? A big part of being an empath is understanding the actions and the emotions of others so clearly. You swear you've experienced their life from their perspective. So, if you can't understand other people, don't want to understand other people, or can't even understand yourself, then you're not an empath. Example, GI on the panel, he didn't understand what he said was wrong. Now, granted, perhaps it was taken out of context. Perhaps the grammar was wrong, or the period wasn't where it's supposed to be. But I have a problem with the daughter thing being innocent. I couldn't understand the correlation between it. But whatever. I guess he was. I don't fucking know. All I'm saying is to go ahead and just not take no accountability and then take fake accountability and not understand why folks are so up in an uproar. You're not an empath. You hear me? You're not one. It's impossible for you to not be able to tap in and understand why that person is acting the way that they are, or excuse me, not acting, why that person have a reaction the way they did. Okay, you're not an empath. Number three, you're highly emotional, but nothing else. You hear me? You are not an empath. You are fucking traumatized, usually from childhood trauma. Okay, you're highly emotional, but nothing else. It must be 7 o'clock. Okay, yeah, it is. You're highly emotional, but you're nothing else. We've watched this. We've watched people try to have these discussions, and they just break the fuck down. Break down because they can't quiet. Makes them storm off like a child, lash out. Okay, you're highly emotional, nothing else. Not an empath. Now, yes, Coco. Oh shit, my phone is going off. Yeah, I gotta speed this up. You're highly emotional, but nothing else. This is something that confuses many people. Just being highly emotional does not make you an empath. I swear to God, it doesn't make you an empath. Emotionally unstable at times, but an empath, no. I've been saying empathy is much, much, much more than just being too sensitive and over emotional, okay? Also, I blame the fucking internet for people to use these or overuse these terms as far as an empath. I'm an empath, you're a narcissist, and blah, blah, blah. Get the fuck on. I'm over that shit. The internet did this shit, y'all. The internet, okay? Number four. Now, I don't know GI in real life or anything like that. I'm just using him as a reference point because I've seen this across the board. But I have seen this. You have no interest in the mystical side of life, none at all. Actually, a lot of times you're just completely laser focused on your beliefs, and and so much so that you're not open to anything else, right? And then some people, they even condemned anything else, right? Hey, L Lace, what's good? um you have no interest in the mystical side of life. I'm not sure how you could consider yourself an empath and not have any interest in what it means or anything else similar to it. There's not much else to say other than it doesn't really make sense. Now, I had, excuse me, God damn it, trying to get words together. Let me sip this coffee. Now, I have had people make insanely insensitive comments in regards to, people personal beliefs, religions and things of that nature. You can't call yourself an empath and do that at the same time. Like you really can't. Because being an empath would allow you the ability to tap in and see things from a different perspective, almost as if you're experiencing it yourself. Am I making sense? Hopefully. Y'all still with me here? Okay. Another reason why you are not an empath, you are just a traumatized person who needs to get some fucking help. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people don't want to just go and get help. I mean, I'm not talking about a psychiatrist. I'm talking about a psychologist or a therapist. You know what I mean? Where you can work out all of that arrested development going on. You can work out all of those childhood traumas. And I've heard y'all's story, okay? A million goddamn times. But here's the one thing that I was like, I'm done. Because y'all know when I'm done, I'm fucking done, right? Um, it's because I find myself watching and making the same comments over and over and over and over again to this individual. And at some point, if I have the ability, right, to throw even my own family or someone who I love overboard, and just completely go black on them, is because they're not getting it. So I'm not going to keep, you know what I mean, talking, wasting my time. You're not getting it. You hear me? So what we're not going to do is pull me into crazy town with you, because ultimately at the end of the day, you have to deal with you, right? I've thrown many of folks that I love to death over a mountain. Bitch, either you gonna fly or you gonna fucking die. One or the other. So I absolutely can do it with someone who I only know socially, on the internet. I find myself saying the same things over and over and over again to this motherfucker, and it's not he's not getting it, right? He's not getting it. Others have not gotten it. And so at this particular point, I'm wasting my time, right? I'm wasting my time. So what the fuck? What else do I have to say? Now I just have to block you and delete you, 100%. Absolutely. Because even if it came out the wrong way or it was typed, either way, this isn't your first time. This is probably like your 10th time with being, shit, I can't even find my words that I want to say. This is not the first time. This is like the 10th time or more where you found yourself in the same position. My nigga, this is insanity. This is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. You are getting the same motherfucking results. That is insanity. So the only thing I can do personally is go ahead and delete myself from this situation, because I'm not going to keep wasting my time. I'm not. One thing for certain, one thing for sure. It is okay to just log the fuck off, work on your personal life, or just take a break, right? Because I keep telling y'all, these are fucking portals. They're portals, right? An empath would fucking know that. You feel me? An empath would know this shit. An empath would go ahead and delete themselves because they can't take on the energy. Did I not go black last year? Remember? Maybe you don't, because I don't get a lot of views and all that kind of stuff. I do this shit for me. You know what I'm saying? And usually sometimes if I a little bit of messy, nothing malicious, and kiki and have a good time. But last year I went ghost on motherfuckers, right? For quite a few months. Yeah, I didn't log into this bitch. I didn't do none of that. Because a person who is a real empath cannot honestly fucking deal with this shit 24/7, or you know what I'm saying? A real empath would have been deleted themselves from the situations that GI, for example, continuously gets himself evolved in. You know what I'm saying? Involved. Wait, involved. Involved. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Hey, Lottie Toddy, we like to party. We don't cause trouble and we don't bother nobody. A real empath wouldn't even be able to do this shit. Okay, you like, you know what? All right, I'm out. Delete or log the fuck off because you're gonna be pulling all that shit in. That's a lot of shit to pull in, right? Especially if you don't have the ability to to disassociate. Well, excuse me. Especially if you don't have the ability, you know what I mean, to not internalize the shit that goes on here, right? Okay. Final thoughts, okay? You're not an empath. You're fucking traumatized. You have PTSD, probably. This is just my opinion, okay? Usually from childhood trauma. Hmm. And you're only saying you're an empath because you want to sound cool. You want to sound cool. Yes, it's the it thing to do. You know, narcissist, empath, all that shit like that. All of these motherfucking titles. It sounds cool, right? There's nothing fucking cool about being an empath. Nothing. Nothing. A trip to the Walmart, okay, can be emotionally fucking draining. But yeah, a lot of people run around to say they're empath to make excuses for their fucking piss poor motherfucking decisions, behaviors, the inability to motherfucking read a room, saying very inappropriate shit, and instead of standing in your shit and apologizing, maybe if you want to, if you mean it, only apologize if you mean it, y'all. That part, because fuck that shit. Apology don't mean shit if you don't mean it, right? Okay. That one there is a no brainer, but it's unbelievable how many people say there's something just so they can fit in or be cool. Red ball it back to description number one when I told you about that. True empaths usually do not want to be a part of a fucking group. Okay? They don't seek out that kind of shit. They usually want to be alone. Okay. But again, that one is a no brainer because it's unbelievable how many people say there's something just so they can fit in or be cool. Jump from one group to the next, one thing to the next. You are not a fucking empath. Being a liar isn't cool. Professing to be an empath is just a fucking excuse. How many times do we have to hear the 1001 excuses for improper, if you will, behavior? Hmm. And you find yourself in the same situations over and over and over and over again. That is insanity. You're not an empath. You're fucking traumatized. You're suffering from some kind of trauma that has happened to you. Usually, it comes from very unstable home environments, like as a child. I don't even feel like getting into Freud because that's a controversy in itself. I'm just saying. The bottom line is that people use that I'm an empath shit as a fucking excuse. A fucking excuse to not confront their demons. They're a fucking excuse not to confront the things that they've gone through in their life. I tell you one thing an empath would be doing, jumping on a whole lot of motherfucking panels. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It would be almost impossible. Do you know how hard it is for me to do these? You know, it's not fucking about me. Hold on, back it up. Here we are. Let me lighten this shit up just a little bit. Hey, gated community. Why grind, my babies? Come on in the room, my babies. Come on in the room. Yeah. I'm trying. I can't even lighten it the fuck up, y'all. Goddamn it, because I'm just annoyed. I guess that's what it is a little bit about how people just use that shit. They use it as a fucking excuse, as an excuse to give their own self a pass for bad, inappropriate behavior. And the kicker is, most of the time they don't fucking know that they're doing this shit, or they don't understand. Like, why are we here again? Because you. Just because you say you're an empath doesn't make you one. I can say I'm an astronaut. That doesn't make me one. Okay? Well, not in real life. Like, you know what I mean? Let me read some of these comments and then I'm going to let y'all go. If anybody would like to share any comments, thoughts, I can't drop the link because I don't have the time to, but I hope y'all can understand where I'm coming from today, okay? Let me read this in my beef sector voice. LA says, wait a minute, hold on, give me 1 second. Thank you for holding and waiting patiently. Hey, Gated community. Hey, Blue Devil. Wagwan. Isha. What's up? What's up? Did I say Blue Devil? Hey, Blue Devil. Isha. LA says empathy is the capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing from within their frame of reference. That is the capacity to place oneself in another position. Yes, it is fucking debilitating. Okay. And before I became aware of what the fuck was going on, with myself, I'm talking about myself here right now. I had to recognize, wait a minute, time out, pause. These aren't your emotions, these aren't your feelings, and that's not your situation. Hence why I never succeeded at becoming a drug and alcohol counselor, because I was fucking internalizing everything. When I tell you, that was the worst goddamn motherfucking career decision I would have ever made. Okay? Mm, that part. Because shit wouldn't even be my motherfucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Everything could be going great. Let me make me think about Walmart again. Anyway, LLA says, or she goes on to say, and to place yourself into the other person's position is the most important, crucial part about it. Correct. Yes. Coco says, I have never heard of an empath associate negative behaviors with being an empath. Correct. And you know what, Coco? When you do um, see the quote unquote empath go ham and shit, or like one of the abilities of a Hayoka is to go ahead and become the mirror, right? They will mirror your shit back to them and watch you lose your shit. Okay? Don't think that they're not aware of what they're doing, because they are. Ask me how I know. Mirror your entire fucking behavior right back to you. Now that doesn't mean that that person is not an empath or a Hayoka, but they're mirroring your behavior back to you so you can see how the fuck it feels. And it usually never works because that person, you know what, never mind. Okay. So does that make me an empath? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back up. LA says, I bought something off of eBay and arrived 2 days. I saw the amount this person paid for actual shipping. They only made $3 profit. Now I feel like I need to send this person a couple more dollars because I feel bad. That doesn't necessarily make you an empath. That makes you a good fucking person, perhaps. You know what I mean? You don't need a title to be a good fucking person, a good human. You don't need a title for that. Does that make sense? Let me know if I could explain that a little bit more in detail. It makes you a good fucking person. You know what I mean? So does it make you? No, it doesn't make you an empath. It's just the right thing to do. If I order groceries and shit from Instacart or whatever, and it's raining and it's storming outside. Hold on, give me 1 second. You could come on. All right. I gotta go, y'all. Last example. If I'm ordering something from Instacart and stuff like that, and it's raining and it's snowing outside, yeah, I'm gonna throw a couple more dollars into the tip thing, or try to catch them and give them the tip money, cash. Why? Because that just makes you a good person just doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, PDP, you want to go ahead and red ball it if you wasn't in the clouds or whatever, but PDP is crazy, right? Okay, look, I cyber love you all. I want you to have a great fucking day. I'm just putting out some food for thought. I gotta go. All right. Smooches, hugs, and kisses, all that other good shit. And thank you all for the birthday wishes. Hey, I look forward to another fucking year. Yep, I do. Let's go.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Remember, stay sucker free. Peace.